What's up guys, it's your favourite dead YouTuber here, and yeah, as you can see by the title, I bought the Drivetribe Brera, which was a decision, so without further ado, here it is. Here it is! So yeah, I bought this car off Mike 3 weeks ago, something like that. I'm not sure what the exact scenario was from Mike's side of things when it came to getting rid of the Brera. I know, obviously, their YouTube channel, they go through a lot of cars very, very quickly. I think Maxwell mentioned when I picked the car up from him that they just got rid of the MGF as well for like stupidly low price. It's, you know, the YouTube channel is the business, which I understand. But what it means, the side effect, is that you get amazing deals on stuff like this. And yes, I know they tried to sell it on eBay, but there were trouble contacting sellers from what I understand. And so, yeah, I had gone to Drivetribe Live not long before. I was the only Brera owner there. I had put a few posts up on Instagram saying how much I enjoyed it with me and my mate Fred and his MR2. And yeah, it just so happened that Mike sort of noticed me and was like, can you please have this? Because it's just taking up space. And so, yeah, I drove down to... what's the name? Swallows Jaguar, that's the place. Awesome place, by the way. Just tons and tons of old Jags stacked up on top of each other. But you can actually see it at the start of Drivetribe's latest video. I think they're trying to trade up from sort of 100 horsepower to 500 horsepower. Really good video, by the way. And you see Maxwell and Mike at the start of that are at Swallows. And I will be visiting there again. They have, like, 10-year-old F-types just sitting there, like, waiting for an owner. So definitely something to look into in the future, because I do like an F-type. Now I've got two cars, and I don't know what to do with either of them. Do I smush them together into one car that works, because it's an Alpha and you kind of need to do that? Or something else? Something a bit more racy, but probably won't last very long. So there's a couple of plans, 2 or 3 different plans. I'm not quite decided on what I want to do with it yet. Couple of which are more dramatic than the others. First plan is the boring one. Gut that. Take all the nice parts off it, because obviously you would have seen from the YouTube videos there's a lot of work gone into this car. It's got a BC Racing coilover, it's got a big brake kit, custom exhaust, which to be fair I do already have a custom exhaust on the JTS. So I don't know which of those is actually going to be better for flow or anything. I think they're both just back box and tips anyway. But yeah, so many nice things put into this. I mean, the seats. The seats are ridiculous. They're so much lighter. And that got me to thinking, you know, if I'm going to be having this car and keeping it and not just gutting it for parts, I don't think it's as good a daily as the JTS. It's faster, yes, and the turbo boost is ridiculous. When you get on it and it hits boost, it's scary. I do apologise, by the way, if I'm not very good at vlogging. This is like my first proper YouTube video in many, many years. And what I did before was gaming videos. So I'm probably not very good at this. So weird edits, bad pacing, not very good at talking to a camera. You're going to have to put up with that. Sorry. I'll get better. But that got me thinking, if I'm actually going to hold on to the diesel, the Drivetribe one, as a daily, I'm kind of going to miss the JTS and I don't want to get rid of it. And I just feel like the more sensible option, if I am going to keep the black JTS, is to swap the parts, get the JTS as valuable as possible, and at the end of the day, the goal is the V6, the Pro Drive. Hopefully trading up to that in some fashion. The other alternative is a bit more interesting, which I think is the one that a lot of you watching are probably going to suggest. I don't know if you guys have seen the Top Gear Rallycross segment that they did in Series 18, where they would buy a relatively cheap car, strip it out, get a roll cage in it, take it racing. And that is really appealing to me with this thing. It's got a little bit more horsepower, it's got way more torque than the petrol. I mean, you get on boost on this thing and it just disappears. Me and my mate Max did a pull when we were driving it back from Bristol, where we picked it up. I was in the diesel, my friend Max was driving mine, and I said, you know what, I'm curious to see, because we've both got around about 200 horsepower, and so we did a pull from 60 mile an hour, 4th gear, on the motorway, and it was relatively equal for the first few meters, and then I hit boost and I disappeared. So hitting the boost is kind of addictive, and it's made me want another turbo in the future. I was thinking possibly a Subaru BRZ, which is what I might be working up to soon. So it's between that or, like I said, the V6 Pro Drive. So when it comes to the Drivetribe one, do I leave it intact, you know, fix it up, have it as a daily, maybe sell it on to one of you guys, or take it racing, which I've never done before in my life. It will probably be an absolute money pit and will break fairly soon. Before I do that though, let's just run through some issues. Okay, so I wanted to demonstrate an issue with one of the warnings that I get on the dashboard, which is currently not happening, which is nice, but it means that I can't demonstrate it to you. The ASR, or VDC, it's sort of traction control, stability control, and I think ABS in there as well, fails sometimes. So on the drive back from Bristol, I did a little pull on a B road and took it up to almost the red line, and as I did that, the whole dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree, and it was saying ASR disabled, airbag failure, and there was a strange whining. So that's something that we'll have to get looked into. Don't know how deep that problem goes, which is another problem if I do want to daily it. Another problem is this, and this is the main one that is putting me off actually keeping this car. So here we go. I don't know if you can hear that. I will also play a video of externally. This thing's steering rack does not sound good. So again, that's another thing that I'll have to have looked into. Might be a replacement rack. But honestly, everything else on this car is pretty tight. I was driving it back down the M6, and that disgusting part of the M6 that has like overpasses through Birmingham, where there's like a jut in the road every like 2 seconds. It actually rides better over those than my stock one. So the coilovers on this thing, I don't know what the damping settings are set to, I haven't looked at them, but it rides fine. So definitely if I do get this for parts, I'm taking the coilovers. Also, these seats, as nice as they are, if I am going to be dailying this thing, I'm not going to be using them. I'm a big guy, so a little bit small for me, especially around the shoulders as well. Not ideal for daily driving. They're quite comfy, but I was feeling it after the sort of 150-ish mile back journey back from Bristol. So might use them in a sim rig. I really don't know. But it's probably going to be one of those things where you hold on to seats for whatever sort of racing car that you're ever going to have in the future. So yeah, that steering sound, that steering rack sound manifested itself after the track day that it had at the Top Gear test track. So yeah, that's Ben Collins' fault. Although, let's be honest, it was probably on its way out already. These things are known to have problems with the seals and the steering rack. I mean, the pump on mine is making all sorts of noises at the moment. So yeah, it is what it is. I have to get it sorted. If I'm going to be using this car, if I want to sell it on as an actual car, probably have to sort that out. You know, it's a Drivetribe was selling it as it was. You know, I knew what I was getting into. I knew that it had been thrashed around a track. I knew that it wasn't, you know, the most reliable thing in the world. I mean, I've got one. It's not the most reliable thing in the world. But yeah, I'm not too bothered about it. I was already there, and it was louder than I thought it was going to be. But then I hit that turbo, and I was like, I'm buying this. So yeah, probably going to have to sort that. But you know, oh yeah, there were a couple of other problems that we had on the way back as well. One was that I had to buy a little mini cigarette lighter to USB thing because my phone was on 1%, and this thing, I didn't realise the head unit does not have a USB slot. So desperately trying to get to Halfords and find directions to Halfords before my phone battery ran out was fun. And that's when the VDC and everything failed. So yeah, that's my fault. I forgot to mention as well, there was a problem with the handbrake on this as well. We got very worried on the way out of Swallow's Jaguar to the M5. We pulled up at a roundabout, a little bit of congestion. Max pulled the handbrake, and the button disappeared into like the sheath. And we were like, oh no, is the button, like the spring on the button or something broken? No, I'll show you what happened. I'm just going to record the brief predicament we just found ourselves in. We were really worried because the handbrake button has disappeared into there. Turns out that wasn't the problem. You just have to... yeah. So it turns out it's fine. It's just... yeah, it's probably wheel face. So, yeah, the next services, I pulled this off. And this is now what we're dealing with. I could put it back on, but it'd just be annoying. I think it's cooler anyway. As long as you don't get shit trapped down here. Kind of weird, the people who've sat in this seat. This is, you know, Ben Collins rolling down this window and talking to, like, Auto Alex guys and Mike and...
Oh, look at the smoke! That's race car. That is race car. Oh, heavens.
Yeah, it's very, very odd that this is mine now. I grew up watching Top Gear. Like, they're genuinely my idols. Like, even before I bought this car, I was like, this Brera video is just hitting that Top Gear-sized hole in my life. I was very, very happy with that video. And to own a car from it is genuine privilege. I never thought anything like this would be able to come around, and just owning it and being part of the history of the channel is very, very cool. It's part of the reason I wanted to make this video, partly because I missed doing YouTube from back in the day when I was a stupid teenager making GTA videos, but actually getting back into YouTube and doing something that I think people will enjoy, and hopefully some of you people who've watched that Drivetribe video will find this one and are curious as to what's happened to the car. Yeah, it's just very, very cool, and I never thought I'd be in this position, so very grateful, happy man here sitting at the wheel of this Brera. Anyway, I've rambled for far too long now about this thing. I could go on forever about all my plans and what I want to do. I want to buy about 7 different cars at the moment. Subaru BRZ, ProDrive Brera V6, Spiders I've been looking at as well. This thing I might hold on to, I might not. That's why I've made this video. I need someone to make the decision for me, realistically, because I can't make it myself. So if you guys could comment below, I'm hoping I'll get some views from the Drivetribe channel. It's going to look really bad if I get no views on this and no comments, but, you know, I'll have to make a decision at some point, won't I? This one is absolutely filthy at the moment, so we're going to go and get this one washed, and then I will be back with you, and you guys can have a look around this one and see which one is a better one to keep. Literally, right as I went to go take this thing out to get washed, I've got a dash hose for low oil level, which has been playing up. I think it's oil level sensor, so I'm just going to check the dipstick, make sure it's actually got oil in it. But yeah, no, there is a big oil leak on this thing, which I haven't fixed for the last 6 months, so let's make sure it's not that. Alright, we're good. Oil level's fine. It's one of those, it's the oil leak is small, but it does leave a lot of mess on the drive. But it's been here for months and it hasn't broken yet, so yeah, oil level sensor is probably something I'm going to have to look at. The front fogs are not connected because when we took the bumper off to do these, the Angel Eyes, we never reconnected it, and so then again when it went in for a respray, it should have been reconnected there, so they forgot that too. Small power steering fluid leak on this one actually as well, so it is this connection here, pretty high up, pretty easy to spot. You can see it leaks down into the down here. It goes through about a bottle of power steering fluid every few months, so that needs sorted. It's all one system as well. There's a lot of these are hard lines, so it'd be the whole system, sort of from the reservoir to the pump is one big thing that you can buy replacements, so not too worried about that. Aircon needs regassing. I mean, there's all very small issues. Parking sensors don't work at the back either, need them reconnected. Pretty sure they got disconnected at the respray, but the rear bumper isn't arsed to get off, so these are all things. This is actually listed on Auto Trader right now for $6,995, and these are all things I need to fix before it actually goes to somebody, because you can't be selling a car with the parking sensors disconnected. Do I get a cone filter for this thing to make the engine bay look cool? Important. Mate, it is fine. Piss off. Yeah, I know. Let's go get washed. I just look at little things on this car and just think, can I steal that from the other one? car wash is shut. Don't currently own a pressure washer, so the car's dirty for a bit longer. Another thing with the JTS is I just think it looks better. I mean, come on. I mean, don't get me wrong, the blue is nice. The blue is very nice. But realistically, I will say, shout out to Rayski on YouTube. I know he's kind of blown up at the moment. He's just hit 3,000 subs. He gave me the idea for the angel eyes on this. He did it to his 159. I watched his video, immediately wanted to do it myself. So shout out to him. He's just started a really good series on a like shitbox Mercedes that he's just bought, and I really think that thing has a lot of potential. So go check out his channel. Meanwhile, the blue turd is going to be sitting here while I figure out what to do with it. Shouldn't be more than about a month or so until we actually decide what we're going to do. I've talked to a guy who has done a lot of work on this so far, and he is up for the whole gutting and swapping, get those BC coilovers onto this. It'll be a cheeky drop of a few mil, but it'll still get over speed bumps because I checked. It's just whether or not you guys think it's the right thing to do. I've just noticed as well, there is some trim missing from the Drivetribe one. Don't know if it's on the other side as well. Yeah, no, it's missing both sides. It should look like this, but it's missing. Nice. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my stupid return to YouTube. I don't even know what kind of channel this is anymore. Until the next video, whatever the hell that might be. Pretty sure I'm a car YouTube channel now. I think this definitely makes me car YouTuber. And the next video will be soon. I saw this coming when I was making R Factor videos 10 years ago. In a bit, peace.